Hello again, my friends! Wake Angel 2001 coming at you with a review of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild Zelda. This one comes with a Sheikah Slate accessory. The original World of Nintendo line never made a Zelda action figure, so I actually don't have anything to compare this one to except for her amiibo, which I have in storage. This has been my favorite version of Zelda for quite some time, and I've always wanted a figure of her. The back of the box, much more subtle posing, because, you know, this Zelda's an intellectual, not an action hero, so that's good enough for her. Zelda is the wise princess of Hyrule whose sealing power is the key to stopping Calamity Ganon. She has a keen interest in researching ancient technology, such as the mysterious Sheikah Slate. Alright, Zelda, let's get you out of the packaging so we can check you out. So, here is Zelda out of the box, and she is pretty darn great. Not quite as refined as the Link figure, but considering this is their first real attempt at it, I'm willing to give them a little bit more leeway. She's still pretty fantastic, especially considering this is the first real action figure of this version of Zelda. Zooming in, we get, just like with Link, all the details are perfectly captured. We got her beautiful face. Got a little bit of a bent ear there. That's just from the packaging. Can probably fix that with a hairdryer later. Her little princess braid that goes over her head, nice long hair. It's cast in a softer material so it can bend and flex, so she can move her head around and it doesn't feel like it's restricting her in any way. Fantastic. The detailing is amazing. You see the patterns are picked out on her outfit. They went with this outfit, like the one without a skirt, which I prefer. This is my favorite outfit for this version of Zelda. Glad they went with it. Like, she has a beautifully painted pouch as well. Even has a little lock on there. Look how cute that is. Detailing is excellent. And of course, they did make sure to get her most valuable assets in place. Yes, we all know what that's from. The Sheikah Slate is beautifully detailed as well. It has sculpted in details, beautifully painted. Although I believe this is a sticker, which is fine, because like I imagine at this price point, actually sculpting and painting that in would have been outside their budget range. So clever idea using a sticker instead. There's also the face of it, which has, it kind of looks like the nice little loading screen of the Sheikah Slate. Very good. The figure's hands are sculpted to hold it. She has one hand that's curled in to get around this handle, and the other, which is a little bit more splayed, which just kind of rests onto the side of it. Perfect. Can make her hold the slate very well. So let's break down her articulation. She has universal shoulders, also with soft detents. Although the sculpt of her arm makes it so that it doesn't quit quite in front of her. Not too bad considering the sculpt range. She still has the double jointed elbows, but no bicep swivel on this one. I guess they couldn't hide it because there's no sleeve there. Link had a nice convenient sleeve they could stick the bicep swivel into. But she does have universally jointed wrists, so there's a pin disc in there. Her waist joint gets much more range than Link's does because of the shape of her torso. But her hips are a little more restricted. Like, it's the V-cut here for her crotch. Like, if they had made this a little thinner, then her legs would be able to go forward, but this is about as good as I've been able to do. I tried to push it farther, and I just ended up popping the ball joints out. So, like, you're not exactly going to get this Zelda riding on a horse or anything. But she does still have a nice deep knee bend. It's a double-jointed knee, but the sculpt of her boot prevents it from going as deep. It's fine, because, it's like, without super deep hips, she doesn't need super deep knees, but she still has that toe joint. Let's go. Worked right in with the sculpt of the little steel tips on her boots. Zelda's not exactly an action hero, so you don't need her to take on too many really wide-legged, super actiony poses. Although, like, I would have at least liked her to be able to sit in a horse, because that is a thing she does in the game. Like, I don't know, like, it would have, like, all it would have had to do was cut the crotch a little bit narrower. Like, this wide V is what's preventing her legs from coming forward too far. If they made it a little bit narrower. Actually, let me take a quick look at Link's. Oop, bumped the camera a little bit too hard. If we look at Link, yeah, his He also has a wide crotch, but not as deep, which is why his leg can come forward a little bit more. So they needed to give a cut in the crotch like this on the Zelda figure. Although they probably left it that way for aesthetic purposes. But yeah, like the sculpt is amazing. The paint job is immaculate. This figure she looks as good as her amiibo, but it's an articulated action figure, which is great. The look is perfect. The sculpt is great. The paint is great. Everything is great. The accessory is great. Oh, she has little hooks on her hip, which you can hang the Sheikah Slate from. Oop. Hold on. No, I got it. Boom, let's go. Look at that. She can carry the Sheikah Slate without having to hold it. That's beautiful. I mean, this version of Link doesn't even come with a scabbard, but Zelda can totally hold her accessory without it being in her hand. Brilliant, beautiful, I love it. Zelda, salute, because you are a queen. No longer are you the princess, you are the queen of Zelda action figures. Let's go. This has been Wake Angel 2001, signing off. There is one thing I have to say, and that is clearly, when you see all three of the figures next to each other, they were not meant for crossover displays. They are all the same height, which is 5 inches. Zelda might be a little bit shorter because she is shorter than Link, so they're at least scaled to each other, but they were clearly not to be scaled with Samus, because as we all know, Samus is actually a relatively tall person. She's like 6 feet tall, almost Amazonian if you think about it, while Link in Breath of the Wild has always been depicted as a relatively short guy. Like, he's shorter than, like, 90% of the NPCs, and, yeah, so seeing him, like, the same height as Samus is kind of weird, and you can also tell because Samus's helmet being so small means her head would be tiny in there, so, yeah, like, Samus's proportions betray the fact that she is significantly taller, so, like, they took a taller person and made it into a shorter figure, so, yeah, like, as great as these figures look, and as wonderful as Link and Zelda are to display next to each other, you might want to keep your Samus figure like on a little bit farther away from them, because she's a little bit too short for this scale. Like, yeah, she unfortunately you're not going to be making a Smash Brothers display with this version of Samus and this version of Link. Although this is better scale. Yeah, maybe scale these guys together. I seen the re-release version of this figure that has the softer skirt and the hood is available again at GameStop, so you can go ahead and get this version of the figure if scale really matters to you. But like, if actual quality as an action figure is all you care about, then all three of these are fantastic.